this on? Daniel, nice to see you again. If we can start with, please, the situation around Jed Spence leaving the club. What's happened there?
Nothing major. We have decided right now, after there was also a little bit time after the New Year's game, we've analyzed the first half of the season, the first month, and especially also the impressions over the festive period. Obviously, when you make decisions in January, it's not a short-term decision. It's more like you are overthinking situations even in the weeks and the month before. But we wanted also to take the impressions of the festive period into account, and then there was a bit time also to share the thoughts and to discuss the things. And then we came to the conclusion that we will end the loan for Jed, and he will return back to Tottenham. And we are grateful for his time here, and wish him definitely also all the best at Tottenham, because he's a player of great potential and also cool guy with a really good heart. So we really wish him all the best. But once you need to take a decision, then you have to do this, and this is what we did.
Does it mean now the full-back area in January is a priority for you to strengthen?
No, not immediately. So we were able to be pretty successful on the first 18 game days, where we had to play without Jed, because in the beginning he was not arrived, and then sadly he had this long-term injury, but kept him out for nearly 8.5 weeks in training, and were capable to find some good solutions in order to be successful. So there is no emergency case. Obviously, we won't fall asleep, because we brought Jed Spence as a fullback in, because we knew about the situation with Junior Firpo, who was injured at that time. Also, the injury CV of Sam Byram. We have also, meanwhile, Archie Gray, who has played a lot in the fullback position, Jamie Shackleton, Luke Ayling. So also several options. So there is no emergency case. But if there is an opportunity in the end, so perhaps we will definitely analyze and assess this opportunity, but there is no emergency. So we're just doing things that we are 100% convinced of, and this is the scenario.
Just on that full-back position, obviously a player that's close to Leeds United fans' hearts, Luke Ayling, there's been a lot of reports linking him away from the club. Can you shed any light on them?
No, I'm not interested in, because I shared quite often really my appreciation and what I think about Luke and his value for us, and I'm not tempted to comment rumors each and every day, because during this time of the year, so it's a January window, each and every day a player is connected with us, or perhaps with outgoing. So if you would comment each and every rumor, so we don't have the time in order to work on the training pitch and to concentrate on the game. So we just comment things when once business is done. And so I've also no signs for something different. So far no player was in my office to tell me that he wants to leave or asking for letting him go. So it was a different scenario in the summer. So I couldn't close the door early enough. If I'm honest, I was tempted to shut the door with my keys. But right now we are in a much better situation, and situation as a club, also in a good situation in the table, good situation on the season. Everyone is really buying into it, so I have no signs that something will happen. We spoke about a few things, yes, but that's it, and no player was in to tell me that he wants to leave.
If there are to be incomings, Daniel, in your opinion as manager, where would you like to strengthen?
To be honest, I'm happy with our squad. I think we have a pretty balanced squad in all areas. So there's not one particularly position where you think, there is definitely a need that you have to do something. But again, it's also, I think, professional to stay awake and also to check if there are some options, and if we have the chance to strengthen our squad in terms of quality, or perhaps in terms of options. Yes, we will check it and perhaps also will do this, but there's no necessity to panic or that we need something urgently. So, like I mentioned, I expect a pretty calm and quiet window.
Team news-wise, going into the weekend, can we just get an update on Sam Byron, please? And also Carl Darlow, how's his recovery going?
Yes, Sam will definitely miss his game. He's got a little strain in his hamstring. Not too bad. I have hopes that he's available for the next league game away at Cardiff. But he will definitely miss this game. The same for Pascal Sturek. His little injury seems to be a bit worse than we expected. He will definitely miss this FA Cup game, and there's also a little doubt if he's really back also for the Cardiff game. We have to see this. Geoffrey Gellert is out with a little glute strain, some problems in his glute. I expect him to be back in training at some point next week, but he will also definitely miss this game. Yes, and with Carl Darlow, we've got meanwhile the assessment and the concrete diagnose. So he'll be out with his finger injury for about 7 weeks. That's at least what the doctors say at this moment. We hope, obviously, and he's also like a fighter, that he comes back, perhaps even a bit earlier. But at the moment, we expect him to be out of team training for the next 7 weeks.
Christopher Claesen, based on his debut, clean sheet on his debut, you must be satisfied that he will be the man to continue this weekend.
Yes, definitely. And I was even convinced before that he would be there with a good performance, because I could see him growing under the leadership of Ed Wooten each and every day in training. But it's then definitely something different when you play the first game in a competitive game, his first big full debut for us, and then the full-packed Elland Road in an important game. And he had not so much to do, but he was there in 1 or 2 situations also with good positioning and also some good saves. So to return back to the dressing room with a clean sheet is always a perfect game for a goalkeeper. I'm pretty delighted for him, because he deserves it. He's a great lad and works hard on the training pitch, and he has all our backing and his trust, and we trust him also for the FA Cup game. I'm quite sure that he will also deliver a good performance. But it's also good that it's the last game where we have to miss Ilan Melier, so it's also important that he can return after this game. So, but for this game, definitely Christopher will get our backing, our trust. Yes.
Just on the FA Cup, you took Norwich to the quarterfinals a few years back. How do you view this competition, Daniel?
I like this, and also when I remember some games with some, really magic cup nights. Also this quarterfinal, I think. Yes, we lost in the added time, the 120th minute against Man United. So really like great games. So this will be a different scenario right now, because after 90 minutes, if there is no winner, then there is a replay. It was a scenario during Corona at this times. I'm a big believer in cup competitions. If I wouldn't believe in the cup competition, we would send them straight away into the next round and say, no, we don't travel. I'm a big believer. I want to go as far as we can come, and I want to win each and every round. And I know it's not realistic that we win the FA Cup, but I mentioned, who knows? I think it's 50 years ago. Meanwhile, for Leeds United, and yes, it's a great competition with a big history, and I think it's also responsibility to present our club and our shirt also in this cup in the best possible way. And for that, we won't do something stupid in team collection. We won't risk any players, but we will also put a strong lineup out, because we want to go into the next round knowing that it will be a difficult task. There's no doubt about this, but we're looking forward to have this game and want to go into the next round.
Yeah, never say never. Just finally from me, Leeds United over the last couple of decades, when they've come up against a team from a division below them, they have struggled at times, and we have some bad memories from certain third round FA Cup ties. I'm just intrigued to know your take as a manager when you're preparing for a game against a side in the division or 2 divisions below you. How do you go about it, Daniel?
Yes, first of all, I will tell them that I've got quite a good record in cup competitions, so in order to motivate them, and we are always respectful. So for me, it's more or less a game on championship level, because if you are one of the top teams in League One, you have the quality like a team who is perhaps in in mid-table, or at least in the bottom half of a championship. Otherwise, you can't be in the top position in League One and fight for promotion. We are seeing what Ipswich, for example, is doing during this season on championship level, and last season they played on League One. So it's a really good side, and also a home game for them, a special stage for them to play against Leeds United, and each and every player would like to use this stage in order to impress. And for that, we expect a pretty tight game and a difficult game, and we have to be there on our best level, because especially also to bring a bit more consistency in our away results also in the league is one of the topics for 2024. And yes, we want to start in the FA Cup, knowing that it's perhaps not the importance of a cup final right now in this game, because it's just more or less for us the first round. But nevertheless, we want to be there with good performance and want to go through in order to come as far as possible in this competition.
Best of luck for it. Thanks for your time.
Hi, Daniel. Supporters were obviously quite taken aback by the news about Jed Spence, and I know you've said that nothing major has happened, but it will feel to fans like quite a major development. Was he not happy here?
No, in general, I don't want to talk too much about Jed right now, because he's meanwhile also back a Tottenham player, and I totally respect also that he's their player. Listen, in the summer we came here in order also to create and bring new values and to create a new culture within the club. And when we speak about a player, if he's here on a permanent or a loan deal, we have expectations, and these expectations are in several topics important. So obviously it's important the potential and the quality of the player, but also his professionalism, his discipline, his workload on and off the pitch, and also the soft skills. So also if he's positive and committed, good for the group and engaged, all these topics paint then more or less a picture, and we decide then, okay, this is a player we want in our group and want to represent Leeds United, and our demands are very, very high, and we don't differ between loan players, permanent players. So we are pretty picky in this topic. And yes, each and every player has. Or it's fair to say that there is no player out in the world who is perfect in all aspects. So it's not possible. Each and every player has strengths and advantages, and also perhaps some weaknesses. But it's more or less like we have to decide by all these topics who we want in the squad, and we analyzed also what has happened in the recent months and also in the recent weeks, and we came to the decision it's for us as a club the right decision right now to end the loan. But when we make such a decision on such a day, for me it's then also not the topic that I speak in public about perhaps what was missing or the weaknesses of Jed Spence, because as long as I'm here in charge, I want us as a club to handle such a situation with class and with style. And I think on such a day, it's more or less to say thanks a lot, Jed, for your service. Thanks a lot also for your work, and wish him really all the best, because, like I mentioned, he's really like a cool guy with lots of potential and a good kid, with a great heart, and we wish him really, from the bottom of my heart, also all the best for his future, because he's a really good player. But for us, it was definitely the right call at this moment. But I'm far away in this moment, anyhow, after we had this decision, also like to criticize him or to speak about what was missing. This is not our style, and this is definitely not my style. Would rather also perhaps explain a bit that it was also not easy and also a bit unlucky for him, because he came in pretty late, and then to suffer a long-term injury that kept him out for 8.5 weeks out of team training, was also unlucky. And no one can be blamed for us, not us, not Jed. It was just unlucky. But of course, especially for a player who comes on loan, the first weeks are important. If you're then 8.5 weeks just training all alone, different timings on the team, it's not the easiest way then to settle in, to integrate into a group. It's always difficult. And also something tragic happened in his private life, so for that he has to stay in London for a few days. It's just a tragedy, and you can't accuse this lad for this. Then when he was back to fitness, in the first games he had to help a bit, yes, on the fullback position where he plays, but also on the left side. He didn't play that often in his career on the left side. It was just due to the situation that Junior Firpo and Sam Byram were injured. So just want to explain, it was also difficult. We just played him in the last games, then more or less on his natural position on the right side. So I think these lads don't need any sympathy, because they lead a privileged life. They earn so much money, and yes, sometimes it's also a bit difficult and a bit unlucky. And also some other players have to play perhaps a bit unused or unusual positions. When I think about Archie Gray, for example, he started as a midfield player. Meanwhile, he's delivering many top performances, apart from 1 or 2 games perhaps. But when I think about his performance away at Leicester, against Ipswich, or the home game right now also against Birmingham, well done in not in his best position. Or the same with Jamie Shackleton or Sam Byram, who also is a right-footed player and played more or less the whole season on the left side, and he's doing it in a fantastic way that everyone speaks meanwhile about him more like about a left back than just a right back. So Jed, and not one player needs sympathy. So it's a privileged position to be in there with a professional football player to lead such a privileged life. But I also want to highlight a bit that it was not the easiest period for him, and also a bit unlucky. And sometimes you just have to say, okay, it doesn't fit at the moment, so it's just unlucky that it doesn't work out. But then you have to be clear in your decision and make the decision, and doesn't take anything away that we think that Jed has big potential, and we wish him really all the best, because he's a really good guy. And if also want to highlight a bit that he was also involved with, I think, one really good game against Ipswich, when he also played a major part in our good performance, our big win. And I have to say, when I judge it back, although the development was a bit unlucky, but if it just was for this game, for this massive important 3 points to bring him in, it was worth to bring him in. And thank God we've done this. But doesn't take anything away that we got the feeling it's right now also the right decision to end the loan, and we move on from this, and he will move on, and he has all the chances also to restart his career, and hopefully also will shine pretty bright, because he has all the potential to do this.
You said you're happy with the squad, it's balanced, you've got strength in areas. 4 of your full-back options have had injury issues this season, and some are going through it right now. Does that not worry you a little bit, that you might be left short-handed? Yes,
a little bit, of course. That was also one of the reasons why we choose the option to bring Jed in. Yeah, sadly was also a little bit injured, so it's always tricky, and especially also in January to get the perfect solution is always tricky. So as you said, we are aware that Junior and Sam especially both have a record in terms of injuries. It's also fair to say right now, at least in January, we head into a period where it's a bit more relaxed. We just have more or less just 1 game per week, so it will be more relaxed. It's also good that we have, for example, Junior, since a few weeks back in training, and also with a good first longer appearance on the pitch the other day against Birmingham. So we hope he stays fit, because then he's an outstanding player also on this level. But like you mentioned, we also will watch carefully what happens over the next weeks. We have also more or less 4 weeks to make a decision, and if there is an emergency case or there is a really good solution on these positions, we will try to make it happen. That's definitely for sure. I think this is also our responsibility to make sure that we create the best possible squad, but we won't do anything stupid or out of a panic reaction. Yes, in this area we will definitely stay awake. Yes.
And just finally, Sonny Perkins has come back to the club. Why did it not quite work out for him, and what's next for him the rest of the season?
Yes, difficult to say. I was too far away and had to concentrate on the lads here. So for that, it's difficult to give you the reasons. Yes, it's also difficult what will happen right now. So at the moment, he's not part of my plans. I spoke about the culture. He was with us in pre-season and got the chance to impress during training and also in a few games and pre-season games, also the first competitive games, and we then decided that it's a bit too soon for him to be involved because he didn't shine during this period, and then there was the option to loan him out. Yes, and it's also fair to say if we judge it, he was not able to get a game time on League One level. Sometimes he was even struggling to make it into the game day squad, and then it's not the solution that he comes back and then shines for Leeds United on championship level, where we have even higher demand. So it doesn't work in this way, and would also the totally wrong sign. He's together with our 21. He has to train and to develop and work on the things that he has to improve. And yes, he's got lots of potential, and if he can work consistently, there's all the chances to shine. But it's not like after a loan doesn't work out and you hardly get any game time, you are credited with a position in the first team. So it would send totally the wrong sign what we in terms of the culture that we want to create, like I mentioned. So we just can back players and trust players and work with them and develop them, but we can just bring them close to the door, and they have to make the step through the door. So this is what we will do. We will work on under 21 level with Sonny. We will give him all the support, all the trust, also work with him that he improves in the challenges that he has in this game. And if he has improves, then he has the chance step by step also to be then also on a higher level. But at the moment, it's more like to stay humble and to work very hard, because yes, if you're not capable to get any minutes on League One level, then it's difficult also to shine for us on the level where we are.
Daniel, the transfer window always creates a lot of excitement among supporters and some managers. But given what you've said about the culture and the strong position you're in, does that make it sort of more important that, or maybe riskier, to bring new characters into this squad? You have to be that bit more careful about who you select to bring in.
Yes, I was during my whole time as a manager, wherever I worked, always careful, because one thing is the quality and the potential of a player, but I was always also on it that we get good personalities and good characters who are really desperate to defend the shirt of the club and to love the badge of the club and to give everything, and are also professional and positive and with good energy for the group and thinking more about the group than about themselves. So for me, it's very important not just to bring good football players, but in terms of technical or tactical skills or physical skills, but also in terms of their personality. And we were quite careful who we brought in the summer. And I think one of the secrets why many signings really worked out and are right now with lots of praise is because we were really careful with their personality and with their character. And as you mentioned, we will keep going also exactly in this way. We will be very careful in terms of which persons we bring in, because we've got a good group and a group who's there with unity and tied together, and we don't want anything that distracts this group from being focused exactly on this level. So that's definitely a key point, yes.
And it's obviously a particularly important time of year in terms of managing the minutes of players. How do you sort of strike that balance between perhaps giving minutes to players who need them and not sending out a disrespectful message about Peterborough? Will you treat it as you would a normal championship game, or is it slightly different with it being the cup?
No, like I mentioned, it will be a game on championship level. Otherwise, you can't be on the top positions on League One side. So I mentioned the Ipswich example. So we are fully aware, especially also, we lacked a bit consistency in our results in the away games. We are fully aware that's a difficult game, and like I mentioned, so we won't risk any player. I forgot to mention that also Liam Cooper showed a little muscular reaction after the last game, so it will be a tight call. I'm not 100% sure if he is available for this game. One thing is for sure, we won't take any risks, and we also have keep in mind that some players need also desperately some minutes, and some players had perhaps also lots of load in the recent weeks and recent months. We all take this into account, but we also want to put a side out who has also the chance to go through into the next round. So we try to balance it in a proper way, but it doesn't take anything from our vision that we also want to be successful in this game, because otherwise we wouldn't even travel. Then we would stay at home. No, we want to go into the next round, and this is also the mentality I want to bring into this club. Whenever you put a Leeds shirt on, if it's a league game, a cup game, a pre-season game, whatever, just a friendly show game, yes, you have to take the responsibility that you present this shirt in a proper way. And yes, the FA Cup is one of the biggest cup competitions in whole Europe. For me, the competition with the biggest history in football, and to play this cup competition, the motherland of football. So no one has to motivate me, and if no one has to motivate me, then also not my players. So I will make sure that we are on it in this game. Again, it's not a guarantee that we will go through, because it will be a difficult game, and we are very respectful, but we'll try our best in order to go into the next round.
And you've mentioned a couple of times already the fact that it's away from home. How significant is it just ending that run of away form?
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in separate too much between home and away games. So for me, our approach is always the same. The same rules. There are two rectangles on both ends of the pitch. The pitch has the same size. There are 11 against 11, or mostly at least 11 against 11. In Preston, it was not the case. So and for that, I don't want to differ too much between home and away games. So for that, and also don't want to speak too much about it. When I judge also some of our away games, we've won in a brilliant way away at Leicester. We have won away at Ipswich. We have won away at Blackburn. We have won away at Millwall. So difficult places to go, and we have delivered it. We are capable to do this. The only thing is, sometimes I got the feeling, because we have still many young players in our starting lineup, and especially also in crucial position. Sometimes in away games, when there is a tendency that the referee is in 50-50 decisions against you, sometimes also because the stadium is a bit more excited, and sometimes we pay the price for our bit youth and naivety in these games, and when that everything works straight away in our favor, then to show steel like an experienced and a really mature group is doing, this is the only thing that we are lacking a little bit. And on this consistency is that's what we're working on. Also, like to develop our younger players, especially our younger players, to show more maturity and steel in this position. This cup game is another chance, because we accept also some resistance and also some odds against us, and you never know what the idea of the referee is, if he also denies us 2 clear penalties or gives perhaps a red card. No, he won't give a red card, so we won't concede a red card in this game, but also poor decisions against us. If we then show resilience and also mental strength, not to be too down and to lose our focus, this is what happens a bit in a few of the last away games. To speak about this and to develop our young players, this is also our task, also my task, and we work on it. And it's another chance also to show that we have learned in this difficult away game, and we want to show this. Thank you. Good. Perfect. Good.